So for this video, I'm going to talk about Azure File Service, the file sync service. And you know how in a storage account you could create a file share. So what the file sync does is you have your file share, and you're able to sync files from the file share to on-premises servers. So like a use case would be, your company has multiple branch offices, one in like Miami, one in like Cincinnati, one in LA, and they all have on-premises servers, and you want to sync the files. Well, you do this to sync it to all of them and to have a local access to the files. That way you could access them faster. It also ensures low latency for the files in the file share. So right now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm creating two VMs that are just Windows Server 2019 images, and then I'm also going to create a storage account, and after I create that, I'll create an Azure File Sync resource, and I'll add those two VMs. Oh, and the storage account is going to be in the same region as these VMs, which is East US. And so after I create the File Sync service, I'm going to connect the two VMs to it through server endpoints, but before that I'm going to install the file sync agent on both of the VMs. And then for the storage account, I'm going to create a file share and connect it to the Azure File Sync as a cloud endpoint. So now time to create the storage account. And actually you could create an eddy region because it's going to be it doesn't have to match the VMs. I'm just going to keep it ECS anyway, but because it's going to use a file sync agent. So just go new storage 56, and I'll do that. And I'll create it and I'll come back when it's ready. Alright, it's ready, so let's create the file share. We'll leave it as transaction optimized. Performance is fine. So we created it. Okay. So now let's create the Azure File Sync. Wait, that was weird. It said that's Azure 900 stuff. Wow. This might be a new thing. Let me look at this. Maybe I can learn some new stuff. Anyway, Azure File Sync. So let's create it. Put it in the same resource group. Find a name. Store sync. And put it in the same region as the storage account. And that was East US. And it's ready to be created. I'll come back when it's ready. So I connected to demo VM1, and actually I'm going to install the file sync agent on it. But first I'm turn off IE enhanced security. Then I'm going to run Internet Explorer and install the agent. Come on, no. Go to this URL, download Azure File Sync Agent, click download, and since it's Windows Server 2019, that one, next. And we're going to run it to allow once. Run. Okay, hit next. Accept the terms, that's fine. I'll use existing proxy settings configured. I don't want to use Microsoft Update. I don't want to collect data, and install. Alright, when that's doing that, let's go to the storage sync service, and first thing to do is create a sync group. Sync group, that's a subscription. We want the storage account and that file share that's created. So if you notice here, it also creates a cloud endpoint when you create the sync group, and that's going to be where, you know, the files are. It's basically a file share. Alright, so it's done. Let's go to it. Now we see we have one cloud endpoint, Azure file share right here. So anyway, let's go back to our VM. It's done, finished, and it's going to start running it. Come back once ready. Alright, it's up to date, click OK, and wait for it to launch again. And I want the Azure environment, and I'm not cloud solution provider, so I'm just going to sign in. Put in your account info. Well, you remember what the password was. Okay, then you got to verify it, so I'm going to do that. And after I verify it, it shows me this. So I choose your subscription, I choose resource group, I choose the storage sync service that I created, and you register it. So now it's registering it, and I'm using, you know, an Azure virtual machine, but you know, most likely you're going to be doing this on an on-premises virtual machine, you know, server. So I'm just simulating that. Now I'm gonna wait for this to finish, and then when this is green check mark and done, then you can say close. I'm gonna do the same thing. Whoops, just pretend you didn't see it. I'm gonna do the same thing for the second virtual machine. So I'm gonna just pause and come back. So I did the same thing for VM2, as you can see here. Close. And, you know, let's just close it on the first one. And this is it for Azure File Sync setup.